they've not done well in the draft. They haven't, and it's hard to pick. You know what I really think? It looks like they were trying to do the Brad Underwood experiment with a bunch of European players, but they haven't all panned out. So I don't until they can figure out, how they win and or what direction they're trying to go to. I don't want to see anybody from a Keaton Wagner standpoint go there to experiment. But yes, he would be a good pick for them. They need some athleticism. I don't know if they're going to rebuild again, Mike and Brad. I couldn't tell you. Who knows? What they're trying to do there.
Yeah, Brad, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. And you can hear
there
me.
we are.
What a wonderful world we live in. No, I think the Bulls made a good pick here with Caleb Wilson. I think Wilson fits what they need. He gives them that athleticism. I think he's a guy who has, when you looked at this draft and you talked about upside of people, Wilson has as much upside as anybody. Now, he needs to improve his jump shot, shoot a little better, but this is a guy who has the athleticism to be an elite player in the NBA. And so he's kind of I would say he's, I actually, back in the day, they took Patrick Williams kind of on a flyer. Remember thinking that he was, because he had all the intangibles or all the tangibles, but he wasn't. Wilson's a better player, though. His team's won, and so I like him. I think this is a good pick, is the right pick for the Bulls now.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk about this. Has been a pretty freaking amazing couple days for Illinois basketball. You got Wagler probably going to go in the top 10 here, hopefully number 5. Ayo Dosunmu just signed the biggest contract ever by an Illinois player. Brad Underwood now is. I saw all these Michigan fans saying they wanted Dusty May to be replaced by Brad Underwood on X. I mean, this is a time that all of a sudden the Illinois basketball program is soaring much higher than what we're used to seeing. Sturdy, I know you want to take full credit for it, but I might give it to Brad Underwood.
Well, it's somebody named Brad, so we'll just go with that. No, I think it's fun. Big contracts, largest contract any Illinois players, signed. Obviously, the money's gone up, right? Darren Williams back in the day, signed a max, but max wasn't that high. So, but I think that you've got. I think there's a chance Boswell gets drafted. You've got Ayo getting his deal. Terrence Shannon showed out in the playoffs. Kasparis is going to get a chance to play in Milwaukee. Will Riley with the Wizards now. You pair him along with A.J. DeBonsa, you got a pair of bookend wings, right? I mean, just dynamic players. I really like, what Illinois is doing. And then they've, next year there's already talk about Quentin Coleman going in the lottery next year.
Yeah.
Not to mention, whatever Merkovich or whoever. So really a great place to be. They're getting talented guys and they're developing them into NBA players. And they're getting players that, let's be honest, nobody thought that Quentin Coleman was going in the draft next year. Nobody thought Keaton Wagner was going after 1 year. These are all things that have happened they've done a great job of finding and identifying talent. And that's really a key part of this.
Yeah. Kat, any thoughts on that?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this is one of the best marketing tools the Illinois media athletic department should utilize. Brad just mentioned Ayo. You got Terrence Shannon. Quinn Coleman is probably, if he has any kind of the year we think he's going to have, he'll have a good shot at it. If Andres Stojakovic, improves his shooting, you got Dominic Merkovic, one of the Ibise's boys. It's a really, really good program to play under right now. And the other side, I don't see Brad Underwood leaving Illinois to go to another Big Ten school. Illinois is his dream school.
He can't.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it cost him like $1 billion. He'd have to get Elon Musk to pay it, I think, his buyout. So.
Well, they do have Larry Ellison up there. Let's not tempt him.
That's
Let's
true.
not tempt him, because he does like to pay for Underwoods. I mean, he did that at quarterback. So we just don't know. But I tell you, this is exciting. Keaton Wagler, played fantastic this year, but we've all covered Illinois. He's just a class act. I mean, isn't it nice to see one of the good guys finish first? I think that's a refreshing story that we probably don't get enough of out of some of the sports stories out there. But we hear all the stories about the bad guys, but Keaton Wagler and his family are just good people.
They really are. They're really good people. They're down to earth. You know, we've all watched him play, and the people listening to this podcast, he was never a showsman. He never walked out there on the court. You know, when he got fouled and got hammered, he didn't jump back up at people. He just played the game. We've had his dad on here, you know, several times talking to us, and that's just how he was raised. And I don't think you're going to see a different kid in the NBA. I think that's one of the things that they like about him. When you talk to a lot of NBA players, scouts, and baseball, they want to see that face where you don't show any, you know, any emotion. And Keaton doesn't do that. And I mean, to tell people out there who don't remember this, at the end of the season, I don't remember if it was the start of the tournament or during the tournament, he bought every player on the team a pair of Beats headphones that were really, really expensive. You know, yeah, there's NIL money, but I've not heard of other players do that. He's just a good kid, and I want to see him do well. I've seen so many negative things about him, not dunking a basketball. People are always trying to find flaws in people, and it's like, you know what? So the people need to understand, you know, you can find a flaw with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you the biggest flaw I see is that the NBA, all the money they've gotten, they have them sitting on those cheap folding chairs. I mean, come on, can't they do a little better than that? I mean, goodness gracious, I've seen chairs like this at school functions, Brad.
I agree. All right, here we go.
The pick is in, folks.
There you go. Keaton Wagler. Number 5.
That is
Number
so
5,
cool.
our guy. That is awesome.
That is so cool.
Incredible.
Yeah, this is great advertising.
Yep, there's Brad Underwood getting some TV time.
You guys get to sit. I tape it. I'm gonna go into the hospital to see my new grandson, and I'm just listening to what you guys are saying. But I'm happy for that family. They are really,
what a great,
really good people. They are
amazing. I mean, you can't script this. I mean, here's the thing: if you wrote this story and said this guy was not, that he was going to have this happen, he's going to be ranked 200 and something. He's going to go in the top 5 in the draft, and he's going to be, after being whatever, not big enough. And the thing was, he had to get stronger and so forth. I mean, you couldn't, nobody would believe this. Like you'd say, well, that's not realistic. That couldn't happen in today's day and age with all the scouting that we have. But there it is. I mean, look at that. So many things are cool. You know what? And I will tell you this. I do think that the fact that Ayo slid in the draft, Shannon slid in the draft, and then we've seen them do amazing things in the NBA, and Will Riley looked really good. I think they're starting to be like, hey, maybe these Illinois kids are all right. Maybe we shouldn't knock them down because of whatever, a lack of this or lack of that. And I also think the other thing that shows out, when you see a kid like Jalen Brunson, who went in the second round, who's now just won an NBA title, you got to start thinking winning matters. Guys who just get things done matter instead of just elite athleticism and so forth. So, yeah, really, I'm so happy for this kid, man. He is a great kid, too.
But I agree with you. You couldn't have said any better, because they can try to overanalyze athleticism. Like I mentioned, he didn't have a dunk this year. People say he needs to get stronger. Whatever you want to say, the kid is a winner. Anybody you talk to, AAU coach, Keaton, Brad Underwood, Tyler Underwood, they've all talked about this kid. He's a winner. We know we're going to talk about the Purdue game, but he knew Kylan Boswell was out, put the team on his shoulders, and he willed them to a win, to one of the best freshman, games ever in the Big Ten. And then, you go back and if you look at the NCAA tournament, he was really special against Iowa. I mean, he kind of willed them to win. We could talk about Andrej Stojakovic, but when the game's on the line, this kid does what he needs to do. Whether it's a dunk, yes, dunks are flashy, but how crafty he is around the basket, and he makes people better. He's a really good passer as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I just think he's got so much untapped potential. As good as he was last year, kid, he's barely 19. he's going to be growing into a man-sized body with the weight programs that he learned the basics from Fletch. Now he goes into the NBA and going to have trainers. I think you could see a guy that 3 or 4 years from now is almost unrecognizable from a kid who was a second-team All-American, and I think his ceiling is higher than a lot of people might imagine, just by what he could do.
Look at Io's body. You know what I mean? Compared to remember what he looked like when he was at Illinois, how big he is, and
Yep.
I mean it's going to come with time. That's why people panic. And I've never been a recruiting guy or want to overanalyze things, and because it's common sense. I mean, the three of us, probably more or less me, we didn't. When you get older, you're going to get bigger. I mean, I just got wider, I guess. But the fact of the matter is, it's going to happen. He's going to get bigger. It's natural. He'll be in the weight room more. He don't have to go to class. You know, he won't be in. You know, he'll be able to spend more time in the gym. Even though Fletcher does an amazing job with these kids, people just need to relax and let the process, you know, work its way out.
Yeah, no, totally true. Again, this is just a tremendous showcase for Illinois basketball. I don't know what you can say with Brad Underwood with an Elite Eight and Final Four in the last 3 years, multiple draft choices in the first round. This is what Illinois basketball always wanted to be. The only thing they haven't really gotten, Brad, is that the elusive national title that's been so challenging for Illini basketball all these years. But man, Brad Underwood has set a new standard here and is rapidly going to ascend to be the best coach in the history of Illinois basketball, and it's not even going to be debatable.
Oh, I agree. Now, here's the other thing that I like. What do you think if you're Illinois coaching staff? What did you just do? The minute this happened, you're texting Brady Pettigrew, right? I mean, you're texting him right now, aren't you? Like, by the way, this could be you. I mean, you're sending this and saying, you know, this is what you can do, and you know, you can do it at home and so forth. And then, so I think that's cool. But I agree with you, Mike. And it's rarefied air, and it's you to start being one of the best players in the, you know, best players in the draft, and they've seen players in the NBA. I mean, there's nothing more. I mean, this is the selling point, right? I mean, this is all these kids want. They want their NIL now, but their goal is to make the big money in the draft, because regardless, NIL is great, but you know, these guys are signing $64 million max contracts and stuff. So, you know, $70 million contracts. So I think it's a really great selling point. It's going to be great for recruiting. Now, what they need to do is just win the national title next year.
Yep.
And then go from there.
I agree.
That's all. That's all they have to do is just win the national title. A piece of cake.
Now look at this. We got Marcus. We got Marcus Griffin coming in here. Marcus, we have not heard from Marcus in a while. He's been coaching, so we knew we had to get him on. Number 5 pick, Keaton Wagler, Clips. Just a heck of a couple days for Illinois basketball here, Marcus. As a former player, what's it like for you when you read the headlines that Io has now signed the biggest contract that an Illinois player has ever signed? We have a guy going 5th in the draft, you know, an Elite Eight and a Final Four in the last 3 years. How's that feel for a guy who was doing, you know, some of those same things when you were in college?
It feels great. It just lets the world know hard work pays off. Like, Illinois is not the most glamorous location to be, as in the state. Champaign is a blue collar town. Like, it's a bunch of farm stuff out here that smells like crap in the middle of the summer, and you smell it all. And then when you come here, you know, you gotta, like Coach always says, everyday guys, you got to be willing to put in that work every single day. And over these last 5 or 6 years, Illinois has a lot of success in the NCAA tournament, and also in that going to that next level. And I'm not even gonna lie. Ayo getting that money, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what in the world? I wish I had his agent, Jiminy Christmas. His agent was working, boy. But man, I'm proud of him. That young man, what he showed just a little bit, only playing 25, 26 minutes a game in the playoffs and averaging 15, 16 points in that run that Minnesota had. You give him a little bit more time and you put him along Ant with his pressure and how he likes to push that ball up the floor. The sky's the limit is for that guy when he's already shooting that three at a nice consistent clip. If he gets that to that 38, 40 range consistently with how aggressive he is off the dribble in transition, oh my Lord, the sky's the limit. He could be very scary for Minnesota.
Yeah, when I saw Randall got traded, I thought, okay, man, Ayo's in the money, baby. That cleared out some cap space. Brad,
hey, didn't I predict this though?
Yeah,
I said 5 years, about 110 million was my prediction. So he got 5 million more, but that was my prediction back in the day. So,
what is it, like 20 million a year?
20. Yeah, he's at over 23 million. 23 million. 23 million a year. And he gets that. And here's the thing. He has 4 great years, and he's got a player option that 4th year. After that 4th year, he'll still be, pretty young.
30, whatever, 31.
Yeah, so he'll have a chance to do something. I'm so excited for Ayo. Ayo has worked. He's one of those kids, and much like Keaton, like they work. Ayo puts in the time. I mean, this dude is in the gym constantly. He's in the weight room. Look at his body. He's changed his body from when he came to Illinois as this skinny kid. He was the knock on him was he was a skinny kid who couldn't shoot. That was the knock on him. Now he's shooting 40% from 3 in the NBA, and he looks like he could. He's ready. He could go into MMA after he's done. I mean, this is a dude he's totally transformed. All the things that they said he couldn't do, he did.
I think this year is going to be interesting to see. Well, next season is because I think people was sleeping on Ayo, and I think they didn't know what to expect. And I think Ayo this year coming up is going to have to adjust, and I think people won't be sleeping on him no more. And I think he's going to have to show people, because I think he's going to start getting the good defenders to guard him now. Because if he don't, they know what he can do. And it's going to be interesting to see how his game develops even more when he starts to get the second and third best defenders on the team sticking him every day. So I can't wait to see that development of him.
He's going to move up the scouting report. That's definitely going to happen.
Yes.
The way he played in the playoffs, people are fully aware of that.
It's what's cool about Ayo is he brings up something every year. He brings something new to the court because Brad talked about how he works. He's very focused and very objective oriented. So I'm kind of interested to see what he does better next year because he's going to get better.
Yeah, no question.
I'm really curious to see what he's going to do for the University of Illinois. What is he going to donate?
Yeah, some NIL dollars, baby. The Ayo Dosunmu training room
is the NBA commissioner? Is he part vampire? Because he looks like just so pale. I feel like I'm watching.
He needs to get outside. He needs to get outside. Doesn't he?
He ain't been outside in a while. Like he's been
there's
indoors.
A guy who makes me look dark. That's pretty pasty.
Guys, I ain't seen any picks. Who's been picked so far? I haven't seen anything.
The top 4 went as expected with Debonsa going 1, Peterson 2, Boozer 3, and then Wilson went to the Bulls. So those were all stock. I think that was exactly what everybody expected. Wagler 5. I think the flip came at 6 with Brooklyn taking Mikal Brown. I thought they would take Acuff. I think the concern with Acuff, I think offensively Acuff's amazing, right? I think the concern is that you're getting another Trae Young who can't guard his shadow. And so I think the kind of fall of Trae Young has kind of hurt Acuff here. I think he could have gone at 5. Now he doesn't fit well with the Clippers because they'd have Garland and him, and they need probably somebody who can play off the ball more. I think Sacramento's probably a good fit for him because they'll just say, "Here, go shoot the ball." And if you don't guard anybody, well, that's normal because we don't guard anybody anyway. So There you go.
Do we think Wagner was good at 5 for the Clippers? You think that was a good pick?
Yes. He fits really well next to Darius Garland for a year, so he can play on or off the ball. And then as Keaton develops, gets stronger and stuff, he can be more ball dominant moving forward after Garland leaves.
I think
those are just me.
I think his biggest issue is his people underestimate the ceiling on Wagler because he's so young right now. Physically, he may not even resemble what we see in 3 to 5 years, just because of his pure youth. He knows how to work out because he's got, he's learned the fundamentals from Fletch, and we see what Terrence Shannon Jr. and Io have done. But at his age, I think he may mature a little later than some people just by looking at him, and he could be a force in 3 or 4 years that people can't even anticipate.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see his transition with that contact because, they're going to try to keep hands on him.
Yep.
Keep hands on him. I can't wait to see how better he gets physically with that contact in the NBA because they get a little handsy out there.
Yeah, yes, they do. And, of course, Brad
I'll tell you what we're going to learn a lot about him quick is the NBA, those NBA rookie and sophomore years. I don't know when that starts, but that happens like right after the draft, a few days. So we're going to learn a lot about him early. I remember Terrence Shannon right away. He went out there and dominated, and then he got injured. But I'm really curious to see how Keaton does. It's not going to tell a lot about him because it's still basketball. But I'm really curious to see in a couple of weeks when those leagues starts. When again they play the freshmen or rookies, not freshmen. Rookies will play the second-year players.
Are you talking about the summer league?
Yeah, it's the summer league.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good time. If you're going to take a vacation to Las Vegas, finding out when summer league is it's a good time to go there. You pay.
And I'm trying to go in July.
Yeah, well,
Can
maybe
you guys
and I
imagine? Can you imagine what Brad Underwood feels like right now? To know that he came to Illinois, took over a program that was great, that had been struggling, and the knock on him from so many people is he couldn't coach. I've said this multiple times. He had a blueprint. He wanted to get guys. He wanted to win championships. He wanted to get to the Final Four, Final 8. He wants to put guys in the league. The NBA, out of all the things he's accomplished, this is just me. I'm really curious to know what you guys think. The players in the NBA is probably the most surprising thing to me because I'm going to tell you, one of the guys that nobody talks about, Brad Sturdy mentioned earlier, Will Riley had an amazing freshman year. He's played for a really bad team. He's done a tremendous job all around.
Yeah, you got to have great players to be a great coach, and I think Illinois has done a marvelous job of finding the guys that fit their system, and then putting them into there, as opposed to bringing guys in and then figuring out what the hell do I do with this guy. I think that's probably the part that I admire the most is plugging the right pieces in. I don't know how you feel on that, Sturdy.
Yep. So here's my thing about that. What I like about it is that he's willing to change. Like when he's
maybe not during a game, but
no adjustments. No, but he changed. The first year it was defense. It was all out. We're going to be athletes. We're going to get after it. Then it became, well, that didn't work. So let's do this and let's do this. And it's like changed from this way, this defensive system. It's like we want a Kofi in the middle. Well, then it was don't want Kofi. Well, then we want to go small. Well, we don't want to be that small. So, all these things have changed over the years, and he's found out a system that works for him and what he wants to do. And I think that's huge. To Ked's point earlier, he talked about, remember the knock on him was originally we weren't sure he could recruit.
Yeah.
Couldn't know if he could recruit. Now he's obviously can recruit. Now, I know it's a different world than when he started recruiting, but still, it's impressive what he's done, how he's kind of reinvented himself. He had 1 year at a high major as a head coach before he came to Illinois. And now he's one of the top 10 coaches in college basketball. I think that's fair to say. So,
well, he's 61, and he's found ways to adapt to the new rules much better than some of the 40-year-old coaches have figured out how to adapt to the new rules. I think that's probably the reason that I had a lot of respect for Dusty May. Of course, you and I talked about this multiple times on Eye on the Illini and on the Illini Guys Sports Spectacular, that we thought Dusty was the prototypical NBA coach. but you've got a guy who really knows how to just take a look at the landscape and then figure out how to win. He doesn't complain about, oh, the rules changed or this is different. He just goes, okay, fine. How do we make that work for us? And he goes on to the next win. One thing with Dusty May going, how lucky is it for Michigan that he waited until this late into the process to go, which allowed most of the money from all the other teams to be spent? Because I would think a guy like McKinney, would look at Illinois going, that might be kind of fun to play down there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was intentional. That was intentional. That was because they was trying to get him to sign his contract extension earlier as soon as the season was over. So he knew. I will bet. I don't have no inside information, but I will bet he probably heard that something was coming available, that he might have an opportunity. And
of course,
why would he not?
The latest rumor is that he read the report on Michigan athletics is going to be released in the next few days and decided maybe leaving. Now, I think that's probably. I think that's
what report?
Supposedly there was an internal audit or there was an audit that some group of lawyers did, and we'll see if that's coming out. I was reading on that, but I think that really kind of underestimates Dusty May's coaching ability, because as a guy who lives in Dallas, this couldn't be better to have Dusty May get out of the Big Ten, and then he comes down and coaches the Mavericks down here. That's like a double win for me.
Yeah, I think Dusty May's a really good basketball coach. I really do. I think he's good, and I think kids like playing for him. I think he's good. I know a lot of coaches didn't like him because he was kind of cutthroat and the way he did things, but hey, that's the name of the game. What do you think of the Hawks? So taking Flemings, Kingston Flemings. Didn't they? I mean, and I guess it makes sense, like to a certain extent, but my concern about this is, didn't they already have a small guard who shot a lot? I mean, could really score, and then they got rid of him.
We're going to do that all over again, aren't we?
Say, let's try it again. Now, I think he has to guard better than Trae Young because, well, in your current state, Mike, you guard better than Trae Young at 50, whatever. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. What's going on with Gabe Yakas is one of the questions. I don't know. I've not had a chance to even look into that recently.
Well, he got drafted. So
yeah. Yeah. So I'd Taterhead. I'd have to look into it, but it's that
they had mini camps or whatever. So we'll see what happens when training camp starts.
Yeah. And so now we're hoping Boswell gets drafted. For next season, I think Illinois has set the table extremely well. Brad, I think the biggest thing I noticed watching what's going on in college basketball is that if this had been a typical year like the last, 8 or 9, maybe 6 or 7 years under NIL, Illinois might have one of the top teams easily, number one. But I think this is one of the deepest years I can remember in college basketball, because there's 6 or 8 teams that are just stacked right now. I really think this may be one of the best college seasons that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I think a big part of this is that, these guys are staying in college now. So the best players aren't just taking a chance, because let's be honest. I mean, back in the day, if you wouldn't stay in college because you weren't getting paid. If you could make more in the G League, you know what I mean? Or, whatever, going to Europe could make more. So you weren't getting that money that you're getting now. So I think that's pretty, I think that's a big part of it. And so now you have so much more talent. The other thing is you have some continuity, guys choosing to stay and run it back. I think Illinois did that. Florida did that. So I think that's impressive. I did tell you that I saw, Condon when I was at Disney. I rode Tron right in front of him. He
pushed him out of the way.
I did not push him out of the way. I could have taken his knees out because they were right at punch height. So no, that's a
Marcus
big
Marcus
dude.
gets
Man.
tired of us short guys making jokes.
Yeah,
Hey man, short people, man. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Short
No,
jokes. It's all good.
Hey,
He was-
I'm 6'2"
he was
with
tall.
shoes on.
I
Man.
tell you what, he was a. I mean, it's so funny how many people were in Orlando, but I guess nobody's from Florida. So I mean, like really, they're all tourists, right? So nobody knew. I mean, he's just walking around. I mean, he had his special VIP stuff going on, and but it was funny. Like he just walking around like it's nothing. It's like okay, well, let's see who's Dusty May getting to coach.
Yeah.
So guys, I will be on more often whenever you need me, but it's on to the real world and back to work I go.
All right, sir.
All right,
Well,
man.
thanks for
Finna
coming
have a
on.
Finna have a basketball meeting. My basketball camp is coming up. You already know, 3rd annual, baby.
So give us the details.
Give us
for
the
anybody.
deets. Give us the deets.
Give us the details, man.
The details is Marcus Griffin skills to scrimmage basketball camp, 3rd annual, will be starting August 2nd, and it will be going every Sunday to the 30th. We do 5 Sundays. These kids play 27 different sports, so we have to do my camp like that. So every Sunday starting August 2nd, it is from 2nd to 6th grade. We're going from 4:30 to 7:30, 3 hours. It's an hour and a half a session, so we do 2 sessions. Right now, we have 115 kids signed up.
Wow.
That's
And
awesome.
How do people sign up if more wanted to sign up?
If you would just have to reach out, you would just have to inbox me on Facebook, and then I can send you the link.
Okay,
All right.
perfect. So anybody who has oh man, Morez is coming to Dallas. That's awesome.
You know what?
Of course he is.
Hey,
Of course he is.
Say since Dusty's in Dallas, so technically his college coach, the only college she had left in college was Underwood too. So another Illinois guy going in the top
Hold on.
10.
Hold on. Nobody had him going that high.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I
And
thought
he
it was
passed
more like
Yaxel up.
11, 12 or whatever. I was surprised.
I saw 15. I saw right out the lottery. For him to go 7, oh
9.
my God.
But I
9?
think, don't you think a lot of this had to do
9.
with Dusty May going to Dallas?
Yeah,
Oh,
but he could have picked
1000%.
Yaxel. I would have thought he picked Yaxel, since people liked him. So
But
maybe
is Yaxel too similar to Cooper?
I'll agree. Yeah. But
don't know.
you need some
I-
big
I'm
bodies
sure.
in the West. You need some big bodies out there because you
Yeah.
got a locomotive over there that's in the same state as him that he gonna need some bodies to throw at that guy.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, but Morez is one that I wish would have stayed at Illinois. He was my favorite Illini. Fun guy. We picked him, Brad. You, me, and Ked had him ranked in the top 20 long before anybody else in the nation did.
That's because we saw him, and I went and saw him during COVID. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, and great kid. So I wish he hadn't left, but I'll tell you what, I wish him nothing but the best. This kid's a good kid. We'll see you, Marcus. Take care.
Yep.
Hey, Marcus.
All right, Brad. So Ked is at the hospital visiting his new grandson, Kane. So Kane Prince. So that's awesome.
Nice. Named
and
after
then-
a professional wrestler.
Yes, Kane, exactly. And their next child will be the Undertaker.
Brock, the Stone Cold Prince.
Yeah, exactly. Stone Cold. We're gonna have a whole wrestling federation coming out of that Prince family, out of the
They are.
Quad Cities.
Hey, they are D-Generation X,
Yeah.
D-Generation Prince.
Well, I tell you what, that is awesome. So, folks, we are going to. I got to check one thing real quick here. Before
Hey, by the way, can we throw a shout out to Cece, the Illini gal?
yeah,
Sierra
right ahead.
Parchment. She's named to the Canada Basketball Senior National Women's Training Camp roster.
sweet.
She will be a 17-player camp in Montreal, June 20th to 28th, and she will trying to get in the Olympic pre-qualifying tournament in Guadalajara, Mexico in August. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Illinois basketball, men's and women's, is really, really, really hit a high mark, and it's nice to see that. Um, Again, Morez's dad is going to be very happy because he's now in the NBA.
Yeah, you know what? The one thing I will always say about Morez was that kid is such a fun kid to talk to. He was so great, always affable. Whether it was returning text messages, talking, interviewing at games, different things. Like, he was always great when he was in high school and went through the process. Always, so I'm sad he didn't come to Illinois, or stay in Illinois rather. But at the same time, I'm happy for him that he gets this opportunity. And this is the first of the 3 Michigan guys that are going to go here in the first round, here in the first 15 picks, I think, all of them. So
yeah, and I didn't see Morez going first.
No, I actually thought. Here's the thing: I thought Mara would go ahead of him too.
I think the biggest issue with Mara is he hasn't played that many minutes. And I'm sure there might be some people who are just concerned that when you put those type of minutes with the upgrade in physical talent, that he's gonna wear down. And I think Morez is going to be looked at an awful lot because he went higher than he's supposed to, which will mean your expectations are going to be higher.
Doesn't he really fit like Dallas though, with Cooper Flagg? Having a guy who doesn't necessarily, Morez doesn't have to have the ball. But he's efficient, but he can defend multiple positions. He can defend 1 through 5. He rebounds the crap out of the ball. Just impressive. Just a great fit for today's NBA.
Yep. Any final thoughts, Brad, before we sign off here tonight?
Oh, are we done? Shoot, I thought we were going through the whole first round, man. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know that Illini fans have that type of ability to just have to watch us for 3.5 hours. I don't know anybody should have to do that.
My wife doesn't have that ability, so it's it's not a very common thing. No, I do think it's very exciting to be an Illini fan right now, and I think that this pick here does have some Illini related kind of thoughts, right? With who is it? Milwaukee.
Yeah, with KJ going up there.
KJ going up there. Who do they take? Do they take a guard like Burris? Nate Ament dropping? Do they take Mara? Do they take or Lindeborg or somebody like that? I don't know. See what they do.
Yeah. No, Chad. There's no marathon coverage. we are not built for marathons.
Hey, I'm in, Chad. They just won't let me keep going.
Tell you what, we will let Brad go solo on this for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, no, nobody wants that.
It'll be like a telethon.
I do have some Jerry Lewis-like tendencies.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be 3 a.m. There's Brad covering the draft till tomorrow night.
Yep, there's 24-hour draft. Start at 7:30 tonight. Finish at 10 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yeah. Larry's telling us to get off. Yeah, no. I tell you what, it is. Just a heck of an evening. Like I said, this has been incredible for Illini fans. I mean, you cannot. I still remember, Brad, walking out of the State Farm Center in Underwood's first year, walking out with my dad, and some older couple was like, we should have kept Coach Weber. This, the Gross guy wasn't very good, and this Underwood guy isn't very good. And I remember telling him, I'm like, have faith. Things will get better. Now, I don't know if they're still alive, but if they are, they're very happy with the direction that this program is taking.
Yeah, no, I agree. You have to be happy for all the fans, Illinois fans, for us. For having to cover this, but also happy for these kids and the fact that Illinois matters right now. I mean, I think it's one of those things. Once you get it rolling, it's going to continue rolling. I don't, we cover recruiting. Obviously, we know who they're recruiting. We know which guys they're talking to. We've got to watch all these guys play live, but we don't worry anymore about them having talent, right? I mean, you don't really go, gosh, I don't know if they're going to have enough talent. Now it's like, well, from after the first year when they don't play because they have so much, so many things so many guys returning it. The freshmen aren't going to play. Well, they'll leave, right? Well, I don't think that's it now. There's a culture there in place that makes these kids want to stay. Then they come in, they know I'm going to get my opportunity next year. I'm building it up to that. And I do think that you put all these assistant coaches, you got to give them credit. Tyler Underwood, Zach Hamer, obviously Jeff Alexander and Orlando Antigua, well known, Cam Crocker, all those assistant coaches, the support staff, the guys do all the scouting, Adam Fletcher, et cetera, et cetera.
GM.
All these, the GM. Yes. I mean, obviously putting together a roster is like, it's like, we talk about GMs in all the other sports now, but in the professional sports, but we don't really talk about, what they've been able to do to put all this, together. Ganta was able to put all this together, right, and find the right money and find the right fits in his matrix that is just so widely spoken about. It's really wild that they've been able to do this, and patience is hard in college athletics, but Illinois had patience, and they're winning out because of that.
Yeah, it's good. Now, just to give people a little bit of a highlight, we will be coming up a glimpse into the future. Brad and I and maybe Matt will be up on Thursday night to talk about the state of the nation. So we will talk about a press conference that is done for media members with Josh Whitman. That will be a fascinating discussion. Every year we find that Josh gives you an overview of the entire athletic program, and you get a pretty good idea of where things are going. He predicted the potential of a super league 5 years ago, and definitely, not that he said it was going to happen, but the environment could create that. And boy, we look like it's getting really close. So, I mean, the preparation that he's done to prepare this athletic program for that eventuality may make a big difference in Illini fans' lives, because if you don't make the cut for something like that, your program goes down in status, and it's like being relegated, and that's not enjoyable. So we will be back on Thursday night. We'll do a live show as well. So please come with your questions, and we will go through a lot of what Josh talked about and try to kind of connect all the dots for the Illini programs and the health thereof. It will be a very good podcast, and Josh always gives us a ton of really good material for that. And so that's coming later in the week, Thursday evening. Of course, if you've enjoyed this, please go to our website, IlliniGuys.com, where you can subscribe for $99 a year. We want to get as many members as possible, create a community. And that's where you go onto the message boards, and you don't have to comment, but you can read comments. You can ask Brad or Ked or Larry or Matt or myself questions. And of course, Sturm and everybody else is there, Zeno and all other people who contribute. And it's a way to make it more interactive, not just sitting around and watching. So ultimately, like I said, we would love to get as many members as possible. Please go there and do that. And you can follow Brad and I on Twitter as well. I'm at Mike Kegley, and Brad's at Sturdy32. You get Illini news and a lot of other things there, depending on your degree of sarcasm. We're pretty good follows. Brad, any final thoughts then? And then we'll head this thing home with a very successful evening for Illinois basketball.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting to see Illinois' emergence, but also I'm excited to see how they keep building every year. Like sometimes you might have a guy, but they're getting draft picks every year now, from Shannon to KJ and Will. You had Io for a couple years before that, and then now you got Wagler. And hopefully, and I'm hoping that Kylan Boswell hears his name called tomorrow night. I think that would be fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that, and kind of go from there. So this is my thing. I'm an NBA draft junkie. So I love it. I love the NFL draft. I love the NBA draft. My wife always says, why do you like watching this so much? I see, because these people are living their dream. They have spent the first 18 to 22 years of their lives, or if you're Lindeborg, 25, of your life to play in, and this is their dream. They're realizing their dream. They're getting chosen. It's so much fun. as an and I'm not even like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a NBA regular season is not a thing I spend a lot of time watching, because large part because I don't have time because I'm watching college basketball all the time. But I love the NBA playoffs. But I love the draft. I just think it's so cool. It's so much fun to watch, to hear the stories, the backstories, and all the things that go on. And so I'm a draft junkie. So I love to hear what, how this happens. And it's really fun for me to see the Illinois guys, the guys that you've known since they were committed to Illinois, or sometimes, I remember Myers Leonard got drafted. I mean, we had a, so just kind of going backstory, we used to do, we had a Zoom, or not Zoom, but like a call, I think conference call with Myers after the night he got drafted. And so that was so cool to see a kid like that get drafted. And so I guess that dates me to, seeing even D Well and D and all those guys, so on down the line. But yeah, it's fun to, it's really cool for me and to hear this. So at a personal standpoint, a lot of fun. And then also I'm happy for these kids, and I'm going to keep watching. So even though I'm turning up, Mike's kicking me off of YouTube. Yep. And won't let me play anymore. I'm still going to watch the draft, and I'll be excited. I'll tweet.
Larry just texted us that Keaton's 4 years, $44.1 million. So that's awesome for him. We, having him have that opportunity to go and provide for his family is fantastic. And I'm sure that's just the start of a lot of dollars that Keaton will be able to change his family. Not that they had anything going wrong bad, but he'll elevate that trajectory to a whole new level. So that's fantastic. We look forward to his success. And I think we harken back one point I did want to bring up is, one of the decisions people don't think about with Brad Underwood is to stick behind KJ when he struggled. A lot of Illinois fans weren't too thrilled after his hand injury when he started struggling a little bit that he started so much. But now you have that allowed, I think, Mirkovich maybe to make the decision to come to Champaign because he saw that type of faith that Brad has in his starters. And that's what builds the bridge for guys like Quentin Coleman, et cetera. So I think any way you cut it, Underwood's been making the right moves for quite a few years now. Now it's time to see what happens when this program elevates to a level that it really hasn't been to before. So we will be here with you. This is a great time to subscribe with the Illini Guys. And we will be, like I said, you can get us at IlliniGuys.com. You can get this podcast. Please make sure that you like us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. You can also subscribe to the audio version of Eye on the Illini. And don't miss the Illini Guys Sports Spectacular. It's only an hour long each week. And it's a lighthearted look at Illinois sports and the pro sports that go on around the state of Illinois. We try to have fun every week. You want to laugh a little bit. That's the place to go. And you don't have to worry about all the, New York Yankees versus the Red Sox crap or what LeBron thinks about everything, because we keep it local. Until next time, folks, go Illini.